it's Katie, and I just saw X-Men Apocalypse. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing a no spoiler review. I don't want to give anything away for the people who haven't seen it, and I think a lot of people are going to be very mixed on if they're gonna see it at all. Because the critics saw this movie, the reviews came out, they hated it. I think the movie only has a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, so you don't have to worry, no spoilers, but guys, I have to say, I really liked it. So there could be a multitude of reasons why I liked it. Some of them even could be biases. The first X-Men movie came out when I was 10 years old, and I remember going to the movie theater with my parents and seeing that movie and just being like, oh my gosh, this movie's amazing! Like, it was my introduction to huge superhero movies, and ever since then, I have loved the X-Men. I really wish I read the comics as a kid, but I didn't, but I really thoroughly enjoy the characters, and I loved those movies growing up. So part of the reason why I loved this movie, X-Men Apocalypse, so much was because it was about a lot of the characters from the first X-Men movie that I saw as a kid. This movie, I thought the beginning of it was just absolutely awesome. It was really extraordinary. I loved the beginning of the movie. I also thought they did an incredible job introducing these new X-Men with Jean Grey. We had Scott, we had Storm. Jean Grey was always my favorite, and when I found out that she was going to be played by Sophie Turner, I was even more excited because I love Game of Thrones, I love Sophie Turner, and she was awesome. She was really, really good in this movie. I also loved Ty Sheridan, who played Cyclops Scott in the movie. I was really happy that they gave Scott an awesome introduction because we never really knew a whole lot about him, and he hasn't been in the movies, and his introduction was fantastic. It was great. I loved it. You want to know who else was freaking awesome in this movie? Olivia Munn as Psylocke. Holy moly, she was incredible. Honestly, after seeing this movie, I'm just wishing she could be Wonder Woman because she was fantastic. That girl needs to be a superhero and do a lot more superhero movies because she was awesome. I felt like the movie didn't have enough of her. I wanted more of her backstory. It also didn't have enough Storm. I was kind of bummed about that because I really do love Storm. She gets like a tiny little intro and then she's kind of not around that much. So if I had my choice, I would definitely want more Psylocke, more Storm. Honestly, looking at the X-Men Apocalypse trailers, I totally thought this was gonna be a Jennifer Lawrence movie. Every trailer is like, oh, Mystique is gonna go lead the kids and it's all gonna be about her. But I was actually pleasantly surprised that it wasn't the Jennifer Lawrence show. As much as I love her, I do like her Mystique. But there are so many incredible characters in the X-Men universe that I didn't want it to just be the Mystique show, the Jennifer Lawrence show, and it wasn't, which was really nice. They did a really great job of making this movie entertaining, action-packed, fun, and funny. So besides how much I love Jean Grey and Sophie Turner, you could consider that a bias for the movie. But another thing in this movie that you may consider a bias is it had a lot of Egyptian mythology in it, which I freaking love mythology. Anything that has Greek, Norse, Egyptian mythology, sign me up. This movie did feel very X-Men meets Stargate, which I was all about because Stargate's one of my favorite movies. It also had a really cool bad guy, alright? Apocalypse is so awesome, and he's surrounded by 4 followers that help him out, and that's kind of where it originated, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So I really enjoyed all of that. I enjoyed Apocalypse as an evil villain, and I enjoyed his henchmen, and I really, really enjoyed this movie. The opening scene was so cool, and I don't know if it's because I love Egyptian mythology or Stargate so much, and it reminded me of that, but the opening scene in this movie was really awesome, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really don't know why the critics bashed this movie so much. I'm just kind of wondering if everyone's still stuck on Captain America hype, which obviously that movie was incredible, but I wonder if people are just not ready to watch another superhero movie, or they're comparing it to Captain America, and it's a different movie. X-Men Apocalypse was your standard superhero movie. It didn't need to have 10,000 layers to it. It had a simple plot. It introduced some really cool characters and gave us origins of some of my very favorite X-Men, and had lots of cool action sequences as well as really funny moments. So yeah, I don't know why critics were so hard on this movie, but I really liked it. I enjoyed the simplicity of it. I enjoyed that I could just go in there and have a great time, get some laughs, and get to know some of my favorite X-Men a lot better. So the things I didn't like, of course, I said it already. Storm wasn't in it enough. I totally wanted more from her. She was awesome. A lot of people were excited for Jubilee, and not giving anything away, but she's not in the movie as much as a lot of Jubilee fans wanted. And Psylocke, I loved her. I loved Olivia Munn. I thought that role was fantastic for her, and I wanted more of that. Another thing that could have been better in this movie was kind of the way that they handled Apocalypse's storyline. I thought the beginning of it was really, really cool. And then I just feel like he didn't have enough of a story arc throughout the entire film. So that is one little thing that I think probably could have been done better, but for me it didn't ruin the movie. But I could totally see huge fans of the character Apocalypse not loving it, but for me it really didn't hinder the quality of the movie. But I do think that if he had a more structured story arc, it could have taken the movie to the amazing level. So that's kind of my complaint. I also did see the movie in 3D. I don't think this movie was made to be in 3D, and there aren't any elements to it that make watching it in 3D really cool. So if you have the choice between 3D and 2D, I would recommend just seeing it regular, because there wasn't anything special about the 3D, and again, bias, I don't like 3D. But still super fun, super entertaining. I would highly recommend everyone go see it. Don't listen to the critics. I just highly recommend it. I really enjoyed it. And I'm really curious to hear from you guys. If you've seen the movie, I want to know your thoughts. Am I alone in this loving the movie world? But I want to know from you guys, if you saw the movie, what did you think of it? If you haven't seen it, I recommend to go see it. Come back, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.